Hello and welcome to another video tutorial brought to you by DevTap. This tutorial will be carrying on from the last one, which was more tags in HTML. We got up to the paragraph and the break tags, as well as the table tags and div tags. From here we're going to be looking at CSS, style sheets, how to use internal and external ones. So just for this purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to open up an example that what's this? So we'll just hop over to here, whoops, here, come on. Right. This has an example of an external style sheet, and if I just sort of explain the uses of external style sheets. External style sheets are handy when you've got a website that wants to look the same all the way through. For example, let's get an example. What's a good example? Good example. Facebook's a good example. Right, just drag Facebook into here. Right. As you can see here, you've got this nice sort of blue theme going on. And that's like the same on every page. You get the same sort of thing all the way through. Another good example is YouTube. You've got this bar always at the top, doesn't matter where you are and what you're looking at. You can go on to videos, it's always there, whatever you look at. So using that is a style, what they call a style sheet. I'll just open that up. So I'll just open up the CSS. Here you go. This is our style sheet. All of these different bits and pieces, like the body, that dictates the font, the size, the background color, the margins, and all that. UL is for bullet points. We'll go into that a little bit later. H1, these are header tags. This is another thing I'll be covering in a minute. More tags. These are the different states for links. Visited, hover, active, focus. All of that. And all these classes with dots in front of them are, the dot sort of justifies the fact that it's a custom style. It's not going to be automatically set on anything, like for example the H1 style. Whenever you use a header tag, the site H1 tag, that will always be with cell padding of 15, and it will always be aligned in the center. So that's sort of external style sheets. And sorry, I just didn't mean to close that. So if you can imagine that all of that 77 lines, you imagine you had that on this one document. You can have it in the header here. That's exactly the same as having it just there in the header. But for every web page you would need to rewrite it all out, and not being funny, but not sure what you're like, but I don't particularly want to write out 77 lines every single web page that I have to do. And when it comes to places like Facebook and YouTube, etc., there is quite a few pages. So we have this one simple line that references this style sheet, and as long as this style sheet is in the index of the website, that'll find it and use that style for everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it for style sheets, like basics of them anyway. Just quickly run through this. Here, this website, I'm sure if you've watched my first tutorial on Dreamweaver, then you've seen this before, but this web page is literally that and that CSS. So if we just run through it, as I've shown you before, div tags has got its class called container, which is in my CSS. So the container, that defines the height, the width rather, and the background color, which is, I think, triple F is white. So yeah, it is, yeah. So then we've got our margin there. Then moving on, we've got inside the div, we've then got another div tag, which consists of a table with one row and two columns, and it's got an image in it, which is what its image src is, which this means source. Then we've got the image reference and the alternative text for uses of accessibility uses, the name of the actual, the name of the image if they were to download it and save it, the width and the height, and the style is the background color and the display, which is the block, and that background color is, almost going to design view, that horrible darky greeny color there. Whoops. And then moving on down into our second column, we have another image, but this is a GIF this time, so it's an animated GIF that's just there. And then we have alternative text, which is welcome to bring away, is exactly what that animation, which is a marquee, says. The name of it, we've been through this before, the same height and the width, and the style is display block. And then the content is closed off, and so is the row, and then the table, and then the div. So here we've also got another div tag with the class of sidebar1, which gives it the floating position, whether it's to the left or right, and this one's set to the left, so it'll be on the left hand side, the width and the height, which is 110%. Sometimes when you're working in height, it's better to work in percentages rather than pixels, unless of course you have an image, or you know exactly that the content that will stay in there is going to be exactly the same on every single web page, and that's best. But here I've just made it 110%, so then it'll always stay just that tiny little bit more than it does on someone's screen, and then the background colour is the hexadecimal code. So if we hit back over to here, and in the navigation bar we have the nav tag, which indicates a navigation bar, and then we have our list. We start with a list with UL, and each list item starts off with a li tag and ends with a close li tag, and in each of these list tags I have a reference to another page, and just there is the title of the link I'm going to, that the user sees just here. So now if we just head back over to the code, and that is for all 5 of those, and then we close the list and close the navigation bar, and then we have a break, which is that little space there, and another div, and then we close off that whole div tag. that div tag is, that whole div tag. That whole div tag is this whole section here. I'm sure if I select it. Yeah, so then we move on to the next one, which is an opening div tag, which has the same class as content. No, sorry, because that first one was container, so content is all of that. And then we've got all the header tags, which is that header there, header, the second header and the third header, and then the paragraph, and then another header tag for the prices, and this is a list, so I've listed out all the items here using UL, LI and close LI, and then we've got another little bit of paragraphing there, and then two images that are hit side by side in their own little div tag. And then another paragraph with a little bit of information in it. And then another one, and then another space just to clear things up a little bit, I think that was. Yeah, that space there. Then we close the div tag and we move over to the other sidebar, which was originally going to have adverts in it. So, and then I've just put in here that adverts will be provided by the client, which is the person I was making the website for. And then we have a break and a close div tag. And then this div class footer here is for the footer at the bottom. Just here, with the copyright and where I got the images from. I should always remember to reference the images if they've got copyright on them. You should always check them. And then closing body and closing HTML, and that's it. I'm going to end this tutorial here, and hopefully that should have taught some people some things about tags, CSS and HTML. Oh, hold on. And in the next tutorial I'll be showing you how to set up some good looking websites rather than just this little thing here. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you very, very soon.